Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And once again, this is the one-day chart. We're sitting here at $2.95. We're down 3.52% today. It was another red day for XRP. But I want to zoom out to the 7-day chart. Here was that bottom that came in at $2.75. Are we going to create a higher bottom around $2.95 and then start to move upward? That can possibly happen. I see so many negative people saying, we're going back down under $2. I'm going to sit on the sidelines and wait to accumulate under $2. I just don't see that happening. And look at Bitcoin sitting here at $114,000. Also was a red day for Bitcoin because we're still following Bitcoin until we decouple from it. And, you know, I'm still waiting for that last major push upward on Bitcoin as well. But these are the days where you either buy more XRP or you just do nothing. Because this is going to turn around. You know, even in that video yesterday, I was talking about Mark Hoogan, and he was saying that there could possibly be a crash in August. I think he was more talking about Bitcoin than altcoins, utility-driven cryptocurrencies, because I think a catalyst would cause XRP to start moving upward without Bitcoin. This comes from King Valex. XRP in the mainstream media is telling you that you shouldn't expect a big rally like in the past, aka like 2017. Even with the payment stablecoin bill passing. See what I mean? They want you to buy less to keep you poor. And I agree with that. They always want to create this assumption that you might be too late to XRP. If you're buying now, you're still early. Because XRP is going, the gains from here are going to be astonishing. It's going so much higher. But they want you to believe that XRP is capped out right now, and that is not the case at all. Pro-Ripple lawyer Bill Morgan reveals firms are quietly adding XRP to their balance sheets, with corporate disclosures confirming the trend. Regulatory clarity is driving this adoption for modern payment solutions. And they're also pivoting away from Bitcoin. They're starting to diversify and have a more utility-focused cryptocurrencies in their portfolios. But he said this is happening because of clarity around XRP. We know it's not a security, but some institutions, they need regulations in place before they ever pull the trigger. And I think they're going to be buying at much higher prices. Nearly $1 billion in XRP is now being held as treasury by public companies, excluding Ripple. This does not include what Ripple is holding. So you're seeing the trend happen already. And the documents show us that this is happening. The headlines are telling us this is happening. Right now, it's only $1 billion worth of XRP. Soon it will be $2 billion. Then it'll be $5 billion. Then it'll be $10 billion worth of XRP taken out of circulation. Because these companies are not just buying it and waiting for the price to go up so they could sell it off. They're going to utilize this cryptocurrency in their daily business. And Bill Morgan focused on this one company. So recent, with the SEC, more companies are planning to hold XRP on the balance sheet. Form 10Q filing of Flora Growth Corp shows it holds XRP and Solana and ETH on its balance sheet. According to the company's website, it acquired digital assets to strengthen its balance sheet. 2. Form 8K filed by Hyperscale Data Inc. shows it will begin publishing monthly updates on its digital asset holdings starting this month, with the first report to reflect initial XRP positions added to the balance sheet. On May 28, 2025, Hyperscale announced that its subsidiary, Alt Capital Group Incorporate, intended to acquire $10 million in XRP. Now, this company is only holding 44,653 XRP. I think there's a lot of other small companies that are also buying up crypto and holding it on their balance sheets. Those are the companies not making the big news stories. Those are the companies that are buying XRP and it's never even talked about. But again, they will most likely utilize it for daily payments that those companies are going to make. And they're going to lock it away for a long period of time. And this comes from John Squire, massive for XRP. The CFTC chair said all major banks will accelerate crypto and Bitcoin services. That clears the runway for assets like XRP, built for institutions, primed for compliance, and aligned with ISO 222. Take a listen.
Prohibited banks from engaging in digital asset activities without getting a letter of non-objection from the bank regulators. The infamous SAB 121, which I think the SEC forgot that banks are public companies and that banks custody things. So, clearly getting that rescinded by acting chairman Uyeda on the second day, I think, in office was huge. So banks can do these activities. Of course, JP Morgan has been very active in the digital asset space, as has BNY, as has Citi and all the other banks. It's been quiet. Now I think you're going to be able to see them really accelerate. So all of these projects that everybody's been working on since 2016, now we're going to start seeing more deployment, more volume, and so on and so forth. And a lot of it's been done, frankly, through portfolio companies and strategic equity investments, and so you'll see that deployment. But it's really the bank regulators and making sure, again, that the bank regulators are comfortable with the banks, with their risk governance frameworks, and then a lot's going to start to happen.
So we know the banks are coming. We also know companies are creating treasuries for XRP. Now, $5 billion in inflows could easily push XRP past $7. Think about that. Just $5 billion in inflows. Now, personally, I still believe that the XRP ETFs are going to far outperform the Bitcoin ETFs. I think that was just to get the institutions interested in this space. But when you start talking to the institutions about utility and use case and how they could utilize something to move their own money around the world in a matter of seconds for less than a penny, I think they're going to be more interested in that. And think about if just $10 billion in inflows comes into XRP. Right away, we're looking at a $14 to $15 XRP. And more XRP is taken out of circulation by the treasury companies. People are going to be buying and locking away XRP with their local banks because the banks are not going to miss out on this opportunity either. And they're going to be telling people, listen, you could earn yield off of your XRP. People that are so used to CDs at the bank or IRAs, all of a sudden now they have this crypto option, and that crypto will be getting locked away for periods of time as well. You could see we're already on the road to scarcity. XRP ETF to be approved by September to October. So if these ETFs are approved by September to into October, that gives you a timeline on when XRP could reach 2 digits. Like I said in previous videos, everybody's calling for a $4 to $8 XRP by the end of August. I'm thinking we hit double digits, maybe end of September going into October. Maybe we even break above $20 by then. but that's not going to be the top. Everybody's going to be calling the top when that happens, and people are going to be selling way too soon based on what other people are saying, only to watch the price go higher. Think about this coupled with Fed interest rate cuts, at the same time. And then think about this happening with regulatory clarity coming out of Washington and the Rippleverse SEC case ending. All of a sudden, you have the perfect storm for a 3-digit XRP. And I could see that playing out. I think a lot of people are being way too conservative with their price predictions on XRP this time around. And then you start to look beyond that. Tokenization should be amping up around the same time. Breaking, South Korea is making bold moves on XRP. 20 million XRP worth $60 million just moved from Upbit to a mysterious new wallet. What does Korea know that the rest of the world doesn't? The XRP tide is turning. Now, when you see this type of movement, I don't even believe this is whales. I think this is institutions, maybe large companies buying up XRP. This isn't retail anymore. And we're starting to see more and more of this happen now. So where is all that XRP going? I think a lot of it is being pulled out of circulation. And I think maybe that will hit all at once when people finally realize, hey, all this XRP is gone. It's locked away now. And FOMO is happening at the same time. But what about price suppression? This comes from smoke. So the price suppression of XRP is coming to an end directly from SBI Holdings. The legal dispute between the SEC and Ripple, which has been a barrier to the IPO by suppressing the price of XRP for an extended period, is moving towards resolution. And I think this report came out back in May from SBI. So SBI even believes that the Rippleverse SEC case is still weighing down on the price of XRP as well. And I agree with that. I think XRP is going to go through a lot of price discovery just on recovery alone. XRP should not be sitting where it is right now. It should be sitting somewhere between $8 and $13 already. Then you start to factor in the ETFs. Then you start to factor in regulatory clarity coming out of Washington. Then you start to figure in tokenization and everything else that's coming in the very near future. I think we're going to see price recovery in this cycle as well once the case wraps up. By this time next year, most of XRP holders already become XRP millionaires. And I agree with that. I think this is going to be a shocking run. I think a lot of people are going to make a hell of a lot of money because they were smart enough to continue holding this asset, seeing the big picture that's going on, not listening to the naysayers. I think XRP is going to mint a lot of new millionaires, most likely by this time next year. I think by this time next year, we're going to be talking about passive income options, risk-free passive income options. Most likely, we'll also be talking about earning more XRP from your XRP bag. There's going to be so many things happening. I also think institutional adoption is going to be really amping up by this time next year. I think you're going to get that first wave of institutional adoption. It's going to be a massive wave of liquidity coming into the space, but you're going to have the laggards still onboarding to this space. I think the banks by then will also be on board as well. Most likely the big banks. I think maybe some regional banks, some smaller banks, will have to wait and see how it all plays out. But what I wanted to show you in this video is that everything is still picking up momentum and nothing changed just because today's a red day for XRP. Most likely tomorrow will be a green day. We see it happen all the time. And if you zoom out even more to the 1 month, you could see we're still somewhat in this channel between $2.90 and $3.20. But this dip here, I think that was the low. I think most likely we'll see a higher low. Then we'll continue upward. And I still do believe we will go above $4 by the end of this month. But until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.